Saints and the Cardinals have both reappeared on the field. We're getting ready for the second half. New Orleans leading 13-7. They have led throughout. They jumped out to a quick 3-0 lead after a 57-yard pass to the tight end. Hopi Brenner set up Morton Anderson with a 25-yard field goal. And then Hokie Guyjon's second pass is a pro. The fullback pass, he found Wayne Wilson open for 34 yards. All of that in the first quarter and a quick 10-0 New Orleans lead. However, the Cardinals recovered a fumble, moved down. Earl Farrell caught a pass from Neil Lomax, 11 yards out to make it 10-7. Then the Cardinals fumbled the ball back while they were going in, and just before halftime, Anderson kicked a 29-yard field goal at the end of that drive to make our score 13-7. Some controversy at that point whether Richard Todd had found Tyrone Young for a touchdown. It appeared that he had. Lomax has hit 61% so far for 88 yards, 1 touchdown. Richard Todd, who had a tough first quarter last week in San Francisco, a little better today. He is hitting only 40%, however, on 6 of 15 for 139 yards. Has yet to throw a touchdown, but has not been intercepted. Running backs, we've got 2 of the best in the NFL going up against each other today. Otis Anderson has been the quieter of the 2 with only 22 yards on 5 carries. George Rogers, who had 206 yards against the Cardinals last year, has been held to 46 at halftime, but he's averaging 4.6 yards per carry. Morton Anderson getting ready to kick off as the third quarter is underway. Vern Lundquist along with Terry Bradshaw. Stump Mitchell is the middleman of 3 deep for the St. Louis Cardinals, who will go from left to right. Been a teeter-totter ball game as we thought it would be. Now Anderson gets the whistle from Jim Tunney. Third quarter underway. Mitchell 5 yards back. Touchback, it'll come out to the 20. Comparison of the halftime stats, New Orleans was 16 first downs. The Cardinals didn't pick up their first down until in the second quarter. And the Saints have also had the better of it on the ground and in the air, 282 yards. So Bum's got to be pretty pleased, Terry Bradshaw, with his defensive work so far.
He's got to be pleased. The thing that he also is right now is very scared because last week this same St. Louis team went into the second half against Indianapolis Colts with very similar statistics and came out. Roy Green 183 yards, 150 of them in the second half, 2 touchdowns, explosive offense.
Earl Farrell, Otis Anderson in the eye on first down and 10 from the 20 behind Neil Lomax. It's Stump Mitchell instead of Otis Anderson. And Mitchell gets the carry around the left side. They're working behind Louise Sharp and Terry Steve on that left side and doing so for good yardage. Dan Audick has come in at right guard now, replacing Joe Bostic.
I wonder if Joe has some kind of injury, or is this just a move just to kind of change the pace up? Whatever it is, though, it's 6 yards on first down, and they came out and established the line of scrimmage, got that first shot out of the way. Everybody's got the pads loose now, and we're settling in for a good second half.
Lomax will throw into the flat for Mitchell. 1-on-1. Still got the grease on his uniform, and he gets to the 30-yard line. That'll be close for a first down. I'm not sure whether we saw Otis Anderson limp off it. He may be hampered by that lingering hamstring injury.
Well, that's what it appeared to be, Vern, the fact that he walked off the field grabbing his left hamstring. I hope it's not. I mean, and so does everyone involved with the Cardinals.
Boy, that's a tough injury to get rid of, isn't it?
Well, the thing about them is that the scar tissue builds up and you have to stretch it out. It's something that'll linger and hang on all year because you have to, you have to play sooner or later. And how long does it take to get one of those things well? I don't know.
First down, 10. Lomax, Earl Farrell, close for a first down at the 41. I misspoke myself a moment ago when I said that Bostic was out. It is Terry Steve who is on the bench, and Dan Audick has taken his place at left guard, so Bostic is still in there.
In talking to Jim Hannafin last night, we had a long talk about this man right here, number 15, Neil Lomax. I said, what is it about him that amazes you the most? Forget the arm, the height, the size, and all those records he had in college. He said the thing that I'm consistently amazed with, and that's why I wanted him to start right off the bat, was the fact that he had tremendous field vision. He could see all over the field and reacted quicker than any quarterback I'd ever been associated with, including Dan Fouts.
First and 10. Of course, Hannafin was an assistant to Coryell. That's Dan Audick, whose name we just mentioned, and whose number will now be mentioned by Jim Tunney. That's embarrassing.
Well, Dan hasn't played that much, and
Now, as a quarterback, you going to say anything to him?
No, I don't. Excuse me.
61, 5 yards, still first down.
I make a point of not saying anything to anyone. I let these guys make their mistakes. I felt like that I was certainly going to make my share of mistakes, so I never really got into that.
Did you ever try it?
Yeah, I did. I got on our guy. I had a center once that was giving me some trouble, so I jumped all over him. He walked off the field. I said, oh, play, hey, come back. He walked off the field. I said, never again will I do this.
Took his ball and went home.
He did. Broke my heart.
That was in college?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Here's Lomax. Nothing open deep. Goes in the flat. Something open there. Pat Tilley.
Oh, do I know something about Pat Tilley? This little fellow went to one of the great universities in America, Louisiana Tech. I played golf with him. I know his wife. I know his family. I go to his football camp. Terrible golfer, by the way. All you folks in St. Louis, if he gets anything out about that, he's a good golfer. I'm here to tell you right now, he can't play a lick. He's terrible. I win all his money when we played. Well, just a fine guy. Just, you know, just a good medium route receiver. He's always in there 40 to 60 receptions every year. 700 to 900. He's been all pro with these guys. They brought this guy in, going to replace him. No way. He's too smart and he's too valuable to this team.
2nd down and 1. Stump Mitchell. They continue to work over the left side. That, of course, is where Sharp and now Audick are, but also where Frank Warren, number 73, has replaced Wilkes, who had to go in the nose guard spot, number 94. So it may be a susceptible spot to probe defensively. There is Frank Warren, who has moved into the starting spot. When Moore went down in the first game, they moved Don Thorpe, a rookie 6th-round draft choice from Illinois, in that nose guard spot. Didn't work all that well, so they got Wilkes in there.
They moved Wilkes in, and it's worked out better that way, especially when Derlin's not in the football game. They won't Wilkes had it right in.
1st down 10, St. Louis. They trail 13-7, draw play. Mitchell getting a workout. By the way, word from the bench is that Otis Anderson does indeed have a recurrence of the hamstring injury and may not be back. And Terry Steve also is injured. That's the reason Dan Audick is in there. We probably won't see Steve again.
Inside linebacker, right inside linebacker for the Saints, Dennis Winston, number 56, has been in a lot of plays early in this game, meaning that they're not getting to him. He's moving out, getting around the ends and everyone, and being able to come up and make tackles. So they took note of his over-pursuing. That time they came back with a draw, trying to catch him going outside. Did a good job of stopping and only picked up 2.
Lomax, Mitchell. Audick is down there to try and help block, but Mitchell and Audick arrive at the point of contact about the same time, and Johnny Poe, number 25, made the tackle. Poor Johnny Poe, Friday afternoon after the workout was over, he went in and the guys had taped his locker shut. They'd poured red sauce all over it, some sardines, snails. I mean, it was a mess. A couple of hot dogs. And then he's got to go out and work on Roy Green all week.
Well, maybe they were trying to tell him, you're in for a sloppy day or something.
He says, I know the numbers of who did this. They pick on one player every week. Houston's come back. It's 21-10. Atlanta's still leading. But we saw the mess they created at Johnny Poe's locker. It was Warren Powers would not have put up with that in Missouri, I don't think.
People think that us professionals or these professionals are, they're out there and they're doing a job that's it's a serious business, but athletes have a wonderful way of doing what's necessary to get themselves relaxed before a big game. If I knew I was going to have to cover a guy like Roy Green, who right now has 300 yards receptions, I guess I'd want my locker taped up and a little hot sauce poured on me too.
3rd down. Cardinals have not converted a 3rd down today. Farrell comes in a wing to the right side. 13-7 New Orleans. Randy Love, and a flag comes flying from way downfield as Jim Kovach made the tackle on Randy Love, number 40. That's only the 8th carry this year for Randy Love. Another of the University of Houston products from Garland, Texas.
Boy, the Cardinals are acting. It's against them. You can see Neil up here talking. What do you mean it's all, huh? There's that wrist shot again. Holding. Look at old Jim. Holding.
Take a look at other scores around the NFL on this 4th regular season weekend. Jets are leading Buffalo now 21-10. That game in Buffalo. Pittsburgh over Cleveland 7-0. David Woodley's doing a pretty good job up there.
Not bad.
And Washington has increased its lead over New England.
Holding, 89, 10 yards, still 3rd down.
That's Greg LaFleur, the tight end. And that is Jim Hannafin, who's not pleased.
He's not pleased with that at all, because he had a chance then, if he didn't make it on third down, to go for it on fourth down. His football team has moved the football extremely well in the second half, short running, short passing. And then to come up with a third down and 10 when he was at third down and 2 is inexcusable. He's not proud of this at all.
Because Cedric Mack is injured, Steve Bird has come in as the third wide receiver now, and he joins Tilley and Green. Stunts by New Orleans. Pass caught. That's close for the first down. Now we depend on the spot of the football.
Well, the way he spotted it, that's a first down.
Johnny Poe made the tackle on Stump Mitchell. Will they need the measurement, or will they move the chain? Whitney Paul is up there, a man of some interest in the New Orleans uniform. First down. So the first third down conversion by the Cardinals gives them new life. Coming up after our game, of course, Walter Payton and Franco Harris on the same field in the Kingdome in Seattle as Chicago visits Seattle. Walter now needs 338 yards to break Jim Brown's NFL career rushing record, and Franco, in that strange-looking uniform for him, is just in front of him. Others of you will see Green Bay and Dallas, that game being played at Texas Stadium in Irving. 13-7 our score, first down 10. Roy Green, kind of a quiet factor today, lined up short to the left side. Watch him, though. Lomax tried. Lomax got a good block from Mitchell. Close to the line of scrimmage, sliding catch, Tilley, first down at the 13.
Smart. That's just smart. This guy's doing it. You know, in college, they had that semi-sprint out right and left where Neal would set up and throw the football, and he was extremely good and adapted extremely well at throwing back across the field. You're going to see here, he comes out looking to his left, picking up the coverage, keying the linebackers, finding the safety. Ricky Jackson comes flying in. There's a great block by Mitch. Stop. Now he's out of the pocket. He moves around. Now he's going, this is what you call working on the same page. Tilley comes out of his block. Now watch number 30. Ricky Jackson comes in, Stump, right in there. He tries to jump. Ooh, right over my head, big guy. Get out of the way. Let my man go. Anyway, Tilley does a good job coming out of his route and working back to the quarterback. First down.
Lomax to Mitchell, with Joe Bostic leading the way around the left side, and Mitchell slivers his way through and picked up an extra 2 yards. Boy, he's really an amazing running back. He's a small guy, only 5'7", 5'8", but a great emotional leader on this very young Cardinals team.
Well, right now they need a leader. They got their leading rusher and one of the best in the National Football League, Otis Anderson. I guess last 6 years he's right there with all of them as far as yards gained over those 6 years. And you bring in a guy and replace him with a guy like Stump Mitchell. He's returned punts, returns kickoffs. Now he is their ground attack. He's moved the ball down the field just with his running alone.
You know his full name, don't you?
If you'll tell me, I'll know it.
Here's Livonia Albert Mitchell for a touchdown.
L.A. Way to work, Fred. Way to put me on the spot, Vern. Thought we were friends.
That's why they call him Stump. Touchdown, Mitchell. Bum Phillips not too pleased. The Cardinals open the third quarter, 80 yards, 11 plays, and Mitchell, playing in place of an injured Otis Anderson, gets the touchdown. That's his second of the year. And it's got very quiet in here. Good crowd on hand. It is not a sellout today, but they were hoping for 60,000. Now Neil O'Donoghue, who has been called the Wild Irish Toes by one St. Louis newspaper, puts it up and kicks it through.
We're going to watch a good play here. We're going to Bostic pulling, Tootie Robbins pulling. Good job by Dan Audica sealing off the inside. Good hard running by Stump Mitchell. Watch your right guard. Watch your tight end sealing off. 63. Tootie Robbins leads up inside. Good hard running. Touchdown. 14-13 Cardinals.
11 plays, 80 yards, and they chewed 6 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock to open the third quarter, and the Cardinals have their first lead of the day. They fell behind 10-0 on the first two series by New Orleans. They fought back with a 1-point lead. O'Donoghue's kick taken by Jitter Fields at the 1 to the 20. Tackle made by Lee Nelson. College football is Saturday on CBS Sports, a key Big Ten showdown between the defending conference champion Illinois and the 14th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. You'll get a look at two outstanding quarterbacks, Illinois' Jack Trudeau and Iowa's Chuck Long, two guys who can really wing it. So be sure to tune in next Saturday at noon Eastern Time for exciting college football here on CBS Sports. Have a player down for the Saints at the 19-yard line. Again, a reminder as that player is being tended to that Cardinals have lost 2 defensive backs today, Lionel Washington and Cedric Mack. They also have Steve out of the lineup and Otis Anderson with injury, so they have lost 4 since the game began. We'll get an identification of the injured player in just a moment. Timeout has been called with the Cardinals leading 14-13. Jitter Fields was the injured Saint player. He is up and walked off by himself, so apparently nothing serious. It's now first down and 10. The Saints have the ball for the first time in the second half. Pitch out, Rogers going left with Gaijon in front. Had Stan Brock laying blocks out there. George Rogers' counterpart, Otis Anderson, is on the bench without shoulder pads, and we don't expect to see him again.
I want you to see the key to this play, what makes it so successful. Todd's going to turn around and pitch the ball to number 38, George Rogers. I want you to watch at the top right of your screen, number 85, Hobie Brenner, as he hooks E.J. Jr. Stan Brock's hooking his man. Gaijon's hooking his man, but Hobie Brenner is wearing E.J. Jr. 10 yards down the field, 12 yards down the field before he turned his man loose. That is great blocking.
Second down and 1. Rogers should be enough for the first down near the 31-yard line. Thomas Howard and Brad Edelman exchanging words. Atlanta has scored again. It's 28-10 as the Oilers are in search of their first of the year. Minnesota leading Detroit 23-14, having knocked off Atlanta last week. That is a third quarter score. And the Jets still lead Buffalo 21-13. Buffalo hasn't won this year either. They'll bring out the chain. Cleveland has gotten a field goal and narrowed the margin by which they trail Pittsburgh to 7-3.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. I do not miss going to Cleveland. I hated that bus ride, and I hated that stadium.
I got a scoop for you.
I know you got a scoop.
We're going to Cleveland the 28th of October for the New Orleans and Cleveland game.
Folks, as a player, there are a few places you hate going to and a few you love going to. And I love going to St. Louis. I love coming here to New Orleans, but I did not like going to Cleveland.
Spoken like a diplomat.
No, I'm not a diplomat. I'm just being honest.
First down and 10. Todd. Again, Hobie Brenner, 5th catch of the day.
Folks, I'm laughing at Richard, and look at Richard going, what is this? Richard barely got the ball off, and he got knocked about 8 yards right on his can then and slid like a slick potato. There's big Hobie, 85. Yeah, good day. Me stroll on back here. I got my horses outside. 5. Got me 5 for 116, huh? Not bad. That's probably good contract out of this. No, let me restate that. I'll try to get a new one.
Well, he started off with a 57-yard catch today on the first series, and he's over 100. Best day this season. We'll check and see how it ranks up with his career days.
I'll buy him dinner if I was quarterbacking.
First and 10, New Orleans. Blitz. Todd reads it, man coverage. Good low can't get there. Against Wayne Smith, no flag.
Well, these Saints are hollering for pass interference. We're gonna show it to you again, folks. Number 44, number 88, Eugene Goodlow. Wayne Smith down the field, stride for stride. The ball's in the air. He takes a step on Wayne here. Wayne puts his left arm out, got his hand on him.
I believe so.
You got to be a football player in this league. You got to be able to have it. If a guy can't just touch you without getting a penalty, then something's wrong. We might as well just do what they used to say. Lambert used to say, put dresses on these guys. But just putting a hand on them, that's ridiculous. I agree with that call. No, that's not interference.
Draw play. Wayne Wilson for about 5 to the 44-yard line. Tackle is made by the middle linebacker, Kurt Allerman. We talked at the open of the show about the change in linebackers. They've not been superb today, do you think?
Well, I don't know if you say superb. You've got a guy like Allerman who stepped into the middle for E.J. Jr., who moved to the strong side. I think they have played well. They have done a good job. When you're stunning like that, the linebackers are responsible for areas. The Saints actually have not run in their areas that much. I think they're playing all right.
All right. Third down.
Blitz. Backing off.
They're not coming. There is no blitz. Stunts. Todd. under pressure, fires it out for John Tice, number 82, the tight end. It'll be 4th down. Second-year man from Maryland.
Picking up stunts is not that easy. The guards and the tackles have to shove people off. Now you're going to watch the right guard come back, 73 booted. Dude's going to the outside. They slide him off to the tackle. Court picks him up. He slides him off. Guy comes in too late. As you see, Greer, number 75. Shove him.
Ryan Hansen is on the punt. Steve Bird is the new return man, number 82. He waits at the 12. Not a great kick by Hansen again. And it takes a sideways bounce out of bounds near the 20. So Hansen is having an off day. Rookie from Sioux Falls. Superb last week, not so today. That's only a 34-yard kick. Cardinals had great years back in the mid-70s, 75, 76, and Jim Hart, Mel Gray, and some of those guys. Since 77, they have not had good starts. Take a look at the kind of starts they've had in each year. Now they're 2-1, hoping to go 3-1 for the first time since 76.
Well, you know, would the slow start correlate with a fast finish or vice versa? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but they've got a good start this year.
First down 10. Roy Green in motion. Play fake. Lomax looks deep left side. Ball is tipped by a linebacker and incomplete. Jim Wilkes, it was not a linebacker, it was the nose guard, number 94, ranging back and tipping the ball, intended for the tight end, Doug Marsh.
We're going to watch Roy Green here, number 81, as you see Dave Wayman, number 44, come up. Jams him. They're in a 2 zone. He just jams him and turns him loose. He sets the safety up and runs down deep middle. He's trying to find a seam in that deep zone, and he's in the pattern that they had called for him that time. Didn't get him open. Good pressure, good coverage, incompletion, second down.
Green has only caught one for 14 yards. Second and 10. Marsh in motion. Lomax with time, drilled it, and it's incomplete.
You know, I spent some time yesterday afternoon with Doug Marsh, a fine tight end for the Cardinals from the University of Michigan. We had to talk to reporters. You know, sometimes I don't understand that, but we had a nice conversation with him. I asked him one question. I said, who really gets you up when you get down? Because he seemed to be a kind of a sensitive guy. And he said, Emmett Thomas is my real promoter. The guy that really boosts me up. He's excited about the offense they run here. He likes the idea that the tight ends do get involved with this passing attack.
That's Doug Marsh Terry's talking about. Third down and 10. 5:59 to go third quarter. Cardinals lead by 1. A blitz. Lomax reads it. Ball is tipped, intended for Roy Green. And he can't hang on. And now listen to the roar for the Saint defense as they leave the field.
You know, sometimes in the National Football League, there are easy catches and there are hard catches. And when you have a tight game like this, we're going to see an end zone here. As you see Neal drop back, he's reading the left side to find out what the coverage is. He picks up Roy Green coming across the middle. All right, that ball should have been caught right there. That ball should have been caught. You have to make those catches. The easy ones you're expected to make, and you're kind of a caliber of receiver this guy is. You make those tough catches. You have to.
Carl Birdsong is having a great day in contrast to Brian Hansen. Jitter Fields is back to return the punt. He waits at the 37-yard line. Another good kick. Fields at the 34. Watch out. Foot race. Stuff Mitchell saved the touchdown. One week ago, Indianapolis returned a kickoff 96 yards against St. Louis. It is struck again. A 55-yard return by Jitter Fields on a 45-yard kick.
Well, earlier, you know, we saw him go out. We thought maybe he had an injury of some kind, but he comes in. Good punt. I mean, the punt was a super punt. Nice, high floating punt. But the guy really just did a great job, set up the blocks, and cut back inside. Stump Mitchell saved him a touchdown right there.
55-yard return for Jitter Fields. Longest of his very short professional career. Needs a breather. That'll improve your attitude.
One thing nice about Jitter, you know, this guy, to show you the kind of character he has, he was a walk-on at the University of Texas.
There's Hobie Brenner, who has 5 for 116 yards today. That is the best day of his career, by the way. He had 5 for 105 against Chicago last year.
Safety blitz.
George Rogers buried.
What they did then, what the Cardinals did, was wait till Todd could not get out of his audible system. And once they saw that, then the corner slipped up. The safety actually slipped up and penetrated. They had everybody coming that time. Nowhere to go. That's good calling by the defensive people. And that's not good play selection by the offense then.
George Rogers now with 52 yards on 13 carries. He loses 4. It'll be second down from the 15-yard line. Rogers is coming out. Guyjon, the only setback. This is the New Orleans ace formation, double tight ends and 2 wide receivers. Todd, Brenner, touchdown! That is Brenner's 6th catch today. 11 yards in 2 plays after the punt return by Jitter Fields. And the Saints are back on top. Anderson knocks it home. Hobie Brenner from Southern California.
Well, we're going to watch as Richards, you see them coming, you see Greer coming, you see the inside linebacker stunning, blitzing, everybody's coming. Weak safety goes over, man for man on the outside. They pick up and they fire to Hobie. Whew, what a catch. What a catch. E.J. Jr. again. You know, I don't understand why they continue to put E.J. Jr. on a guy that's already caught 5 for 116 yards. You get out here in a blitzing situation. Saints are not stupid. They come right back, throw to the guy that's wore them all day long. Great catch. Touchdown.
Super catch. Been the best day of Hobie Brenner's career. 6 catches now for 131 yards and 1 touchdown. And he's man for man, E.J. Jr., and he's had the better of it.
You're going to see 85 Hobie Brenner come down with E.J. Jr. 54 on the inside. He's beat right off the bat. We'll come back to that in a minute, folks.
In the meantime, Willard Harrell takes the kickoff and gets it back to the 23-yard line. First down and 10. Now let's take a look at this man-for-man coverage on Brenner.
Okay, look, here's what I'm talking about. They're sending people, and he's got this guy covered man for man. He's beat right now. There's no one on the outside to give him any help. They leave him alone on Hobie Brenner, who has just worn him like a shirt today. No help at all. There's no, you know, this guy is not that fast. We're not talking about a Kevin Winslow. We're talking about a guy that's extremely slow. And we're talking about a 54 E.J. Jr., who is one fine athlete. I am just, you know, I am a little bit surprised that if they selected to do the blitzing and stunning they did in scoring territory, that with a guy that has had that kind of success, they did not get him some kind of help.
Of course, E.J. Jr. played in the middle last week, and he moved to strong side in place of Charlie Baker today. First down and 10. Cardinals trailing again 20-14. Willard Harrell is in the lineup, and a flag accompanies him to the ground.
Jim Kobach, number 52, made the tackle then. You know what's a little bit, what's a little bit surprising to me, and I don't really know. I guess they know a lot more about what's going on than talking about the Cardinals. Why they haven't really opened it up like I expected them to. I expected, especially with Anderson down, to see a lot more footballs in the air.
Holding 64, 10 yards, still first down.
That's the center, Randy Clark. Elsewhere around the NFL today, the Rams have taken a 4th-quarter lead over Cincinnati, 14-7. And Gary Danielson threw a touchdown toss to James Jones to narrow the margin there at 23-21. Buffalo's climbing back into it. They trail by only 5 now. And Cleveland has gone on top of Pittsburgh.
Misprint.
10-7. First down and 20 with 4:33 to go, third quarter. Lomax to Mitchell. Near the 18-yard line. The tackle made by Dirk Winston, number 56, and Ricky Jackson, number 57. Mitchell has now carried 7 times for 37 yards. Otis Anderson left the game in the first half with a reoccurrence of a hamstring injury, and he carried only 5 times for 22 yards. He's on the bench, but not in pads. Otis is one of those young men who's been there 4 or 5 years now, who has tried to assume a leadership role with this very young Cardinal team.
Well, when he came there, they had the older veterans, and they didn't do anything. Now he is, he's a 6-year guy, and they expect him to show leadership, and he has, according to their coach.
Second down, Lomax. Deep left side. Flag down. Catch is made by Doug Marsh, the tight end.
I tell you, this was a super catch. Really a fine thrown ball. The safety broke on the football, and Doug really did a great job of concentrating. Got a little pushing here. Oh, my gosh.
Offensive pass interference. Would have been a 23-yard gain and a first down.
Well, they opened the game up with a pass to Tilley on a slot going to the corner and got a penalty right off the bat holding. And it seems like their passing game today, when they have had opportunities to move it with the passing attack, they've had the penalties, whether it be holding or pushing. They've had the penalties.
That's the 8th penalty for 64 yards against the Cardinals.
Pass interference, offense, half the distance of the goal line, still second down.
Didn't say who it was. Maybe it's the same guy, and he feels sorry for him. I don't know, but I know one thing. Somebody's not feeling sorry for him. That's Jim Hannafin right now.
Second and 23. From the end zone. Tip for Marsh, incomplete. At the 37-yard line. Went right back to the tight end out of Michigan.
We're going to watch Neal drop back. The Saints go into just a regular zone where they have a safety in the middle. As you can see, the quarterback comes back, getting good time to throw the football, and then he tries to hit Doug Marsh as he clears the linebackers. And then you see the safety number Frank Watley, number 49, come over, and Russell Gary, number 20, and they collide. And Frank, I guess, is the guy that ended up being hurt on this.
Watley is the injured player for the New Orleans Saints, number 49. Timeout has been called with New Orleans leading 20-14. Walked off by himself, but he has been replaced in the lineup by Terry Hogue, the third-round draft choice. One of the more celebrated defensive backs in recent history in college ball. 3.8 grade point average. 2-time All-American. Had an unbelievable junior season with 12 interceptions. And he's in the lineup right now. Third down, 23. Fourth down, 11.
People are saying, golly, we didn't get the first down, but this is good. See, now they have the football out on the 22-yard line. They get in, their punter is punting the ball extremely well today. They're going to get good field position, or they're going to punt this thing on down the football. That is not a bad play. Picked up a good bit of yardage there. Now, good job by Lomax of going around the field, and finally, when he had to, he dumped the ball off.
Carl Birdsong will kick it again to Jitter Fields, who returned one 55 yards the last time he touched the ball. Fields waiting at the 33-yard line. Birdsong with a 47-yard average today. And also clipped the scoreboard with his first punt. That one won't come close. Fair catch. Fields at the 41. Saints get the ball back with 2:46 to go in the third quarter. Coming up next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday from Anchorage, Alaska. Heavyweight Jerry Cooney, 25-1 and inactive for quite some time. Back in the ring against Phil Brown, who is undefeated but has had 2 draws. Also next weekend on CBS Sports Saturday, the New York Triathlon and Slew of Gold will go for the second leg of the fall Triple Crown in the Marlboro Cup.
Yeah, won the Woodward.
Yes.
I'd like to own just a little bitty tiny piece of it. Not a lot, just a little.
Won it in the mud, what they call an off-track.
Care how he won it. He won it.
First down and 10. Saints lead it 20-14. Grove in motion. Quick screen.
Oh!
Duckett drops it.
One of the things I was talking to King Hill yesterday, and we were talking about Todd here. I said, he's had a rough go. 3 interceptions last week, pulled out in the second quarter. I said, you know, what can you do to get his confidence back? He said, if we get the corners off, if we get Washington or Smith off, he said, what we're going to do is just little quick screens out there and try to pick up 5 or 6 or 7 yards and really build up Richard's confidence. Well, he hasn't done that till just now, but this is a little play that every club in the National Football League runs, and runs well. Unfortunately for Richard, he dropped the ball.
Makes it a 2nd down and 10 with 2:43 to go in the third quarter. 20-14, New Orleans leads. Wayne Wilson. Benny Perrin has him up high, and E.J. Jr. had him down around the knees, number 54.
You know, something that happens throughout the course of the season, you have a lot of injuries, as has happened here today, but E.J. Jr. is playing strong linebacker, and Alleman is playing the middle, and a guy by the name of Thomas Howard. But equally, on the other side, you have some changes, too, with the Saints, and they have a lot of versatility with Hill now at center, and Court, who was a center, has moved over to right guard.
New Orleans 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions, and they've got a 3rd down 7 now. Draw play to Guyjon. He's got some room, and he's got a 1st down. Terrific blocks on the right side supplied by Brock and Steve Court. Watch numbers 60 and 67.
You're going to watch the rights. You're going to watch the centers. They come down. 67 Brock. They seal off inside. Court. Then you have the man pulling on the outside. Edelman comes in, number 63, and he kicks out and he leads in the hole. Big hole then. Big 1st down for the Saints.
Guyjon with 6 carries for 45 yards. 1st down and 10. New Orleans with a 20-14 lead. A minute and a half to go, third quarter. Leonard Smith faking the blitz. Now he backs off. Todd is changing the play at the line. 3-step drop. Little swing pass incomplete.
You know, so many times you'll see Leonard Smith, number 45. He'll come up, Vern, and look like he's going to blitz. And Richard saw that, and he audible out. Now, how did he know that he was going to blitz? Well, if you just looked at it, you wouldn't know. But if you'll key the weak safety, if the strong safety blitzes over the tight end side, the guy that covers the tight end is the weak safety, number 23, Benny Perrin. He had cheated all the way over to cover the tight end, and that's what gave it away to Richard. He audibled, so what did they do? Richard audibled, and they checked out and went back to his zone. Richard had a play on that wasn't designed for zones.
It is a chess game, isn't it? 2nd down and 10. 1:13 to go, third quarter. Play fake. Now the blitz is coming. Todd wings it out. John Tice intercepted. Return to the 30. This is Victor Heflin. As Todd, with pressure all around him, overthrew John Tice.
Jeff Grove, number 86, saved some more yardage. He stripped the ball actually out of Heflin's hand. This is just a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure on Richard this time. We're going to see it, folks. Richard comes out. Guyjon steps up to help out. Sealed off on the inside pretty good, but the outside guys come in and get free then. Tice, 82, the tight end's the guy he was trying to get it to, but 46 sitting right there, Heflin. Now you're going to see Jeff come over, and he tries to strip the ball out.
That is his first interception of a 2-year career for Victor Heflin. He is the 3rd defensive back in that spot. Lionel Washington and Cedric Mack both out with injuries. Now the Cardinals have it with 1:03 to go, third quarter. 1st down at their own 41. Lomax will throw on 1st down if he can find anybody open. Well, if they think Jim Wilkes is an eligible receiver, he was close, but he's wearing a different colored uniform.
I tell you, watching Neil, this is defensive pressure, as you can see, in 83. First 6 games, 13 sacks, 1 in 5. 84, first 3 games, 11 sacks, interceptions 6, and they're 2 and 1. Actually, sacks and interceptions correlate extremely well with winning and losing. I don't care, because that's great football when you can force his offenses to change.
Flags are down on the quick snap. Stump Mitchell caught for no gain, number 30. And if you joined us late, Otis Anderson out with a hamstring injury, carried only 5 times for 22 yards. Somebody moved.
On St. Louis. It's interesting. It seems like the Saints have taken a page out of the strategy of the Cardinals. They're coming in now and they're blitzing. They're forcing Eagle. Watch old Jim here. Give us a little motion.
Number 61 declined. 3rd down.
Dan Audick, who has taken Terry Steve's place in the offensive line at left guard.
Bobby Johnson, number 34, comes in. Gathers comes in their prevent package. But it's funny how they've changed up to, you know, they're coming out being a little more aggressive here in the third quarter. Kind of doing the things that St. Louis was doing earlier. Blitzing, stunning, going all over the field.
3rd and 10, you're listening to Terry Bradshaw. I'm Vern Lundquist. Cardinals trailing 20-14. They are 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. Stunts by the Saints front 4. Pat Tilley, first down at the 41-yard line. Woo! Flag is down in the offensive backfield.
Quarterback.
Yep. That is a 19-yard gain. And Lomax is down. And behind him, 2 rookies. Rick McIver, 3rd-round choice from Texas, and Kyle Mackey, 11th-round choice from East Texas State.
I'll tell you one thing. I've got more respect and admiration for a quarterback like Lomax, who has the patience and the poise to be so young and to stand there and stand there and stand there. And if you want,
roughing the quarterback, and it's to the end of the run.
we're going to watch Pat Tilley right in the center of your screen. Russell Gary on his outside. He drifts, runs over on the inside. Nobody's there. Good patience, good timing, good pass. And Walton comes up, makes the stick. Now we're going to watch it from the other side. This is what Neal's looking. Steps in there, steps, patience, waiting, fires the football.
Rick McIver from Fort Stockton, Texas, went to a run-oriented offense at the University of Texas. Never really fulfilled his potential there, but I'll tell you what Jim Hannafin told Terry Bradshaw and me last night with a kind of a low voice. He said he might be another Bradshaw. They really like this kid's arm.
They are in trouble.
He has thrown 4 passes this year. He has not completed any. Rick McIver from the University of Texas hands it off up the middle. Earl Farrell, number 31, and Jim Wilkes. I remember, Terry, when Rick was a high school prospect out of Fort Stockton, and you can't get any farther in West Texas than Fort Stockton, but he's 90 miles from Fort Stockton even. There's Lomax.
Go towards town to go hunting.
That's right. Big.
That's in the country now.
Well, there go my McIver stories, because Lomax is coming back in. Save those for the next Cardinal game.
But I was saying earlier about Neal, that's something I had a hard time with the early part of my career. I just didn't have any confidence in the people in front of me, and gosh, I'd feel a little bit of pressure, and I was gone. I mean, I was sprinting out of there. Of course, I was going for my life.
That's the end of the third quarter with a score. New Orleans 20, St. Louis 14. We now pause for a word from your local station. Crowd of nearly 60,000 gathered here in the Superdome today. Cardinals trailing by 6, but they have the ball with a 2nd down. On the first play of the 4th quarter, Neal Lomax has spread it around. He's thrown the ball to 7 different receivers en route to a 16 of 26 day. Hand off deep, left side, Stump Mitchell. Good block from Joe Bostic.
Touchdown!
Touchdown! 22 yards. 2nd touchdown today for the youngster who has replaced Otis Anderson in the offensive backfield.
You know, the way they're clapping Neal on his back, Neal must have audible then. He saw something. They worked on it in the week. They picked up on the film, watching the Saints, and he made an audible the way it goes. Touchdown. Comes back. Counter. Hey, this is plain old, it's what you call a special, folks. I got you, you got him. Bostic, 71, good block. 63, Tootie Robbins down there saying, oh, well, where is somebody? Receivers did a good job. You know what was the key to that? Those 2 wide receivers running down there and sealing off the safety in the corner.
O'Donoghue's extra point is up and good, and the Cardinals have gone back in front. Roy Green, who started his career as a defensive back, and his block really helped.
They say wide receivers don't block or don't like to block, but this guy is a converted defensive back. Look at this, position blocking. Come on. There you go. Not much. You know, you don't have to have a block where you just bust somebody, knock his helmet off and anything. Just get in there and get him out of the way. Bostic, 71. Tootie Robbins, 63. Lead the way. Blocked there on Dennis Winston. Leaning back inside. Down here, Roy Green sets old Poe up. Hey, 21-20 Cardinals.
Game has bounced back and forth as a result. The emotions have been up and down for this crowd in the Superdome, and they are stilled right now because Stump Mitchell has caught 5 passes today for 43 yards. run the ball 9 times for 59, 2 touchdowns. Cardinals on top as the kick is taken by Jitter Fields. Slides off a tackle.
No,
Oh.
Jitters off the tackle.
Jitters off the tackle.
That's right.
Okay. He became an instant favorite of yours the minute he said he was pleased to meet Mr. Bradshaw.
Well, you know, that
Can't fool me.
That was flattering, but I'm a little sensitive about my age, and he told me my not having a lot of hair kind of gave him away. He said, I saw you coming from a long way off, and he called me Mr. Bradshaw at practice the other day. I haven't gotten used to that. I feel awful young.
I call you Mr. Bradshaw.
It's because you're little.
That's exactly right. Tim Wilson in the lineup now. Leads the blocking for George Rogers around the left side, and they don't pick much.
You know, one of the interesting things about football while we watch these guys, number 68 there, Kelvin Clark, big old teddy bear kind of guy. I was talking to him the other day, and, you know, in the huddle, folks, every team has a different way of lining up their people. As you can see, tackles on the outside, guards on the inside, then the center, then the wide receivers, halfback, tight ends, and fullbacks are by the quarterback. Now they all turn and come out. Kelvin said, we're so versatile here. He said, I came back from a play one time. I walked up to the huddle. Someone was in my spot. I went over to the guard spot. Someone was in there. I said, oh, I must be over here. They had him at right tackle. Didn't even tell him.
It's a heck of a way to find out.
It's called versatility.
Todd.
Good job here.
Wayne Wilson.
That was a good job by Todd. He saw everybody downfield running off with their wide receivers. Linebackers had just dropped 15 yards deep that time. One of the few times today we had seen true zone. Richard spotted it immediately, let the linebackers get their depth, then unloaded it out to Wilson in the flat. Good job.
We've had a change in the defensive line now for St. Louis as Stafford Mays, number 76, has come in. Alois Grooms has gone to the bench. I don't know if there's an injury report there, but we'll check. And Mark Duda has moved from right tackle to left. There's Stafford Mays in his 5th year out of the University of Washington. 3rd down, 5. Incomplete. 4th down. Wayne Wilson, the intended receiver. And Bubba Baker and Stafford Mays put the pressure on Richard Todd.
You're going to watch it again as Mays goes. See Greer pick him. See Greer pick the tackle, then Mays goes around him. That's the stunt, folks. Nowhere. They did a good job downfield of shutting off their receivers. Richard held the ball. Nobody with it. What am I going with this football? Finally, he just forces it out there, gets it out of there, gets it out of his hands before he gets sacked. That's a good illustration of a stunt when it works.
Brian Hansen for the 4th time today.
This guy's got to be saying, am I going to hit one today or what? Or what?
It's still or what. Steve Bird from the 42. Brought down at the 47-yard line by Tim Wilson. Saints give up the ball. St. Louis leads it 21-20 in the 4th quarter. Ain't going to be no cakewalk for either of these teams in the next month. Cardinals are at home against Miami, then at Dallas, then they host Chicago and Washington back-to-back in the next 4 games. New Orleans is at Houston and at Chicago. They get the Rams at home, and then they have a Sunday night game at Dallas. So that quick start that we spoke of, Terry Bradshaw, at the start of the show, makes this game all the more meaningful for both clubs.
New Orleans needs a momentum. They need to get a 500 thing going here. And then we got St. Louis. It's 2-1. They're getting ready to hit the meat of a schedule. They need this win desperately. Both these football teams are struggling out here today.
Lomax out for 1 play after being hit late. Pumps, looks deep, can't find anything there. Goes right side to Pat Tilley, and he picks up 9. Our score 21-20. Atlanta leading Houston 35-10 in the 4th quarter. The Rams have increased their lead to Cincinnati by 10 now. And Minnesota has gotten a field goal to add to their lead over Detroit, 26-21 in the Silverdome. Jets, Buffalo's climbed to within 2 now of New York as Buffalo looks for its first of the year. And Cleveland still leading the Steelers 17-10.
I'm telling you, it's a misprint.
San Francisco holding on to a 5-point edge over Philadelphia, and Washington leading by 13 over New England. 2nd down and 1, 12:50 to go. Mitchell, 1st down.
I'll tell you, this stumped Mitchell. I don't believe he would care if a train was coming. This guy just give me the ball. Someone get out of my way. Someone block if you want to. I'm coming. Man, what a load this little fella is. Dump Mitchell. Look at him right there, folks. Number 30. I'm going to walk back here nice and slow. I've seen it on television. 9 for 64, 2 TD. I wonder if he knows that. People used to ask me, Terry, do you know what you threw for in the games and everything? I have to admit, folks, I only looked up there after every pass.
First down and 10. Oh, I was beginning to feel sorry for you.
I set you up. Offsides.
Yep.
Big old Jim Wilkes, number 94 for the Saints, a nose tackle. He jumped that time. I wonder if Randy kind of enticed him a little bit.
Randy is Randy Clark, number 64, offside. No, he did not entice him.
Offside, defense, 94, 5 yards, still first down.
That'll make it first down and 5. Green Bay and Dallas, of course, one of our 2 games on the CBS doubleheader. Interesting speculation in Dallas this week as to whether or not the Rams did try to get Danny White.
Sure they did. Stram said they did. The other
Gil
guy
Brandt said no.
Brandt said, who knows more, Brandt or Stram?
Caught by Mitchell, shakes a tackle, first down. He's been all over the place today.
You know, you ever wondered what happens when young people come into a football game when the stars are out, and these young folks come in here and they make kickoff returns, punt returns, they make key blocks, they make key receptions, and they make runs which you never, you know, that superstars make. Maybe we're looking at a superstar. Uh-oh, off on the sideline. He's a superstar. Superstars have to make good runs, go to the sideline. I've seen it a lot. Look at Stump. Yep. Yeah.
First down 10. Willard Harrell gets the call.
We got 11-12 and counting, folks. 21-20 St. Louis, and they're controlling the line of scrimmage here, trying to just get in good field goal position, get the Saints set up here where they can get a touchdown. Either that or they're trying to run this clock down a little bit. I know one thing, if I'm the quarterback, I'm loving this position. I'm on the 20-yard line. I'm looking at 2nd and 8.5 yards. I've got an arsenal here that I can choose from that's really a lot of fun. It's a fun position for a quarterback to be in.
Second down, 9. Tilley is the man in motion. Blitz. They got him. Ricky Jackson. Jackson had 12 sacks. Yeah, sure. Now you can do that. Shake hands. That's a nice touch.
Well, you know, these guys are out here and a great deal of respect for one another. And as a quarterback, anytime a guy that sacked me and helped me up and said something nice to me, I didn't have anything but him for the utmost respect. And I thought, well, that's awful nice. Some people don't do that. We're going to see it again. Ricky Jackson, number 57, slides in under Doug Marsh, pushes fullback out of the way and grabs a hold of Neil Lomax. Just great individual effort by 57 that time. Now we're looking at 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16. Now it's not so much fun because you're playing against a real aggressive attacking defense now.
3rd and 17. 4-man front for the Saints. They've got to prevent package in. They are sending 4. Randy Love makes the catch. That'll buy them an additional 7 yards for Neil O'Donohue.
Hey, not all bad, not all bad. We're down here at the 23-yard line. We're fixing to kick us a field goal. We're going to watch a replay. Jim Wilkes, 94, going out of your screen. Now we're going to see 97 come in and gathers and get his hands around, Neil. Good job getting rid of the football.
Was he in the grasp?
Nah. Hey, that quarterback's an athlete.
Neil O'Donohue, the hero of last week's win over Indianapolis. 6 of 10 for the year. Had an off year, much documented in 1983. 39-yard kick. And it is good.
Woo! Woo, he wasn't too sure about that way. He was leaning.
Tell you, Jim Hannafin went out on the limb for O'Donohue, especially after a rough start up in Green Bay. And Hannafin last night said, boy, you think I wasn't worried about both of us when he kicked that one in Indianapolis?
Now, this ball's going to the right, as you can see on your screen. Going to the right, now it's turning. It kicks. Hey, that thing hits the crossbar. Hit the crossbar and kicked in. No wonder he's leaning. Please, baby, lean. Ooh. Good kick.
Got a little draw on it.
Look at this. Good kick. That looks like a signal from the sideline. What's Jim now? Jim said, yeah, there's my kicker. There's my kick. All right. Way to go, guys. Yeah.
24-20 as the Cardinals get set to kick off with 9:21 to go. Jitter Fields remains on the bench, and Tyrone Anthony has gone out to return the kick along with Kenny Duckett. Duckett to the left side, Anthony to the right. O'Donohue with a kick, short, very, very short, and out of bounds. Coming up next Saturday on CBS Sports, the Illini with Mike White, the head coach, against Hayden Fry's Iowa Hawkeyes. Jack Trudeau and Chuck Long, two of the better quarterbacks in the Big Ten. They'll put it up some. You know, that reputation of 3 yards in the cloud of dust, not true for those two
Out
teams.
the window.
That's at 12 o'clock Eastern time next Saturday. Illinois against Iowa from Iowa City. Live at 12 o'clock Eastern time on CBS.
You know, they may have done O'Donohue a favor then by not feeling that football. Gives him a chance now to really bust one down there.
Almost forgot that he started his career with Tampa Bay in the NFL. Has been with St. Louis for a few years and has won quite a few games for them. Also has had some disappointments, but came through in the clutch last week with that big 46-yard kick against Indianapolis with 7 seconds to go. 7 of 11 for the year now. Duckett and Tyrone Anthony move up near the 10-yard line. Duckett is to the left side, Anthony to the right. Duckett. 23-yard line, first down and 10. 9:05 to go in the game. Randy Love made the tackle. Richard Todd comes back on the field. We have not seen Kenny Stabler today. We thought we might. And Todd has not had the greatest of days. He's 9 of 24 for 170, but 6 of those catches have gone to his tight end. The wide receivers have caught only 2. Goodlow 1 and Groth 1. There's Kenny Stabler, the snake. Going to go into thoroughbred racing after this season.
Wanted me to go in and be a partner with him.
You going?
I don't know.
Anthony gets the handoff. Tyrone Anthony in the lineup. And a couple of yards.
You see big 59 there, Thomas Howard. I remember 4 years ago when we played the Chiefs in our opening game, third game actually, we had the game won with about 33 seconds left, and Chuck had sent in a play which was a reverse handoff to Franco Harris. They came up inside and knocked the ball out of my hand when I reverse pivoted. He picked the football up and went 73 yards for a touchdown and beat us.
And he reminded you of that today.
He sure did.
Second down, 8. Blitz from Howard. Wide open, Eugene Goodlow. 47-yard line, first down. Only the third catch by a wide receiver today. That's a 21-yard gain, and Goodlow's second catch today.
At the bottom of your screen, folks, you're going to see Eugene Goodlow, number 88, come off. Plants, this is just pitch and catch. 46 Heflin is staying way off of him. Simple reads by the quarterback. Time to throw the football. The corners are going to play this far off. Piece of cake. Do it all day long.
Back in the first half, both Lionel Washington and Cedric Mack went out with shoulder injuries, so Heflin, the third cornerback in for the Cardinals this afternoon. First down, 10, New Orleans, 24-20 with 7:40 to go. Tyrone Anthony, rookie running back from North Carolina, where he gained in excess of 1,000 yards last year. Other scores around the NFL. Pittsburgh trailing Cleveland 20-10. And the 49ers have increased their lead over the Eagles 21-9.
That's the best record since 1952 if they win this football game today for the 49ers.
They've had some success lately. Bubba Baker is the injured player now for the Cardinals. Funny, yesterday, Curtis Greer, you asked him if he liked having Baker as an addition. His eyes just got big.
He did. Well, he said it took the double teams off of him now. They had to respect Baker.
So it's 24-20 and timeout has been called.
You're going to see in the circle, number 60, Al Baker, Bubba Baker. He's going to come inside and try to make the tackle. One of his own men, number 76, Stanford Mays, comes over and gives him a shot in his knee. He ran off the field and looks like he's going to be all right.
Lois Grooms has come back into the lineup defensively now. It'll be second down, 6. Todd looks back to his left. They try to set up the screen. Nothing is there, so he goes short. Great job of ad-libbing as Tyrone Young makes the catch. Richard Todd looks back to his left, Terry, and the screen had been all messed up.
This is a play that San Diego Chargers use and use very well against the Steelers in the playoff game to win. What he's going to do, Richard, is going to take the snap and sprint to the right, pretending like he's trying to get the football downfield. Everybody sets. Now you're going to watch the guards turn everybody loose, and they're going to go out and set up a screen in front of the tight end. But Cardinals were alert to that and put a lot of pressure on Richard. Well, he was smart to come back around, find Tyrone Young. Good job by the receiver coming back to Richard, and for Richard innovating and doing a good job of finding his man. Look at him come back, number 89.
Bubba Baker is back in the lineup. 6:27 to go. 24-20 St. Louis lead. That's Young in motion. Flags are down. Rogers had gotten the handoff. Talked about that somewhat of a patchwork New Orleans offensive line. They've done a good job today with John Hill coming in, the old veteran at center, replacing Steve Court, who moved over to right guard for Louis Oubre.
It is kind of interesting because Hill has done a good job. Let's listen to Jim again.
Ball start, left side of the line, 5 yards, still first down.
Maybe it was everyone. 63, Edelman. The fact that Court, number 60, is their center, was drafted as a guard but moved to center. Now he's back at the position they drafted him for, playing right guard, and Hill, number 62, is the center. Edelman said probably the one secret to their offensive line is the fact that all of their people can move around and play all the positions.
Makes it a first down at 15 with 6:21 to go. Double tight ends, one running back. Good protection. Tyrone Young, first down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 16. That's his second catch. 2 for 24. New Orleans came in tied for the lead in sacks with 13, and Seattle and St. Louis came in with 11 in the first 3 games. But today, the Cardinals have not gotten a sack, and the Saints have gotten only 2, indicating pretty good work by the front guys.
Well, yeah, they did a fine job, and 2 of these guys aren't even in the positions they've been playing all year, so they are doing a fine job. Also, good job by Todd.
It has been a seesaw ball game. Wayne Wilson, number 30, in motion. Blitz. Todd reads it. Man is open. Caught. Touchdown. Wayne Wilson's second catch. A 30-yard touchdown catch. Wayne Wilson from Richard Todd.
They had an all-out blitz, both outside linebackers and the middle linebacker. 23, Benny Perrin comes over, has to pick the first back out of the backfield. That is really tight coverage, but once again, as we see the extra point, once again, if the quarterback and the receiver are on the same page and there's tight coverage, if that guy has his back to the quarterback, he can squeeze that ball in there. Richard did a fine job of doing that.
76-yard drive in 6 plays, and Todd, who had not been effective throwing the ball, suddenly is.
Now you're going to watch again as Richard takes the snap. 59, Thomas comes in, Howard comes in, outside they come in, Greer gets pressure, Benny Perrin comes over to pick up Wayne Wilson. Good close coverage, but he had his back to the football. They were able to squeeze it in. Touchdown for the Saints, gives them a 27-24 lead.
He caught the touchdown pass from Hokie Gajan that put New Orleans up 10-0. That's Dave Wilson. number 3 quarterback from Illinois, who is congratulating Wayne Wilson. And 27-24, 6:07 to go, fourth quarter. Well, Hannafin and Bum both said it was going to be a dogfight.
Well, you know, the thing that's so really is interesting is the fact that the Saints have been much maligned this year for their offensive strategy, especially, of course, here in New Orleans. And the fact that they've come out today and tried to attack the really aggressive secondary of the St. Louis Cardinal football team, minus, of course, that they've had their first and second round. Cornerbacks are starting people that have left this football game, but they have come out, they have attacked, they've thrown the football better than we've seen them so far this year, and this is our second game.
Well, he's been on the spot before this season with the problems at Green Bay and the big win last week, and it might come back to O'Donohue. We've got 6:07 to go in the ball game, 27-24. That was a 76-yard drive in 6 plays. Morton Anderson to stump Mitchell. Oh, gracious.
Guido Merkins, number 19. We're going to watch Guido Merkins come down. This is the guy Bum loves. He can play quarterback, running back, tight end, flanker, defensive back, and he does all these things, knows every position they have. Comes down, nobody picks him up, comes inside, zero in, bing. Good shot, good play.
Played with Bum in Houston.
Oh, listen to these fans.
First down 10, 5:59 to go in the game. Lomax looks back at Jim Tunney, says, I can't hear anything. And, of course, that only inspired. I remember, Terry, back in the late 60s, the Cowboys played a game down here in Old Tulane Stadium, and Ron Whitby for the Cowboys went on to punt. The Saint fans started to holler. It delayed the game for 17 minutes.
I don't think that's going to happen today. What
No.
I normally tried to do when I was playing, when the crowd was this noisy, I normally would try to go on and run the play. Unless it was a pass pattern or something that and calls are very important. But if I had a running play or something and I had it on a quick count, I normally would go on and run it, and that would stop these people.
Jim Hannafin. That's Steve Bird right behind him.
You know, in 1977, this guy was voted the NFL's Assistant Coach of the Year. It's an award I'd never even heard of. He didn't tell us that, by the way. I scraped that up.
Now the crowd will really get on it.
Well, Neil's better to go on and run a play. There you go.
Left flat. Doug Marsh, the tight end. Might have gotten enough for the first down. He did. Clock will run, though, and it shows 5:45 to go in the ball game. Johnny Poe made the tackle.
Talking to Doug Marsh last night, he had on cowboy boots, folks, and I said, Doug, I didn't know you guys wore cowboy boots up there. And he said, hey, these are my lucky boots. We've been winning ever since I started wearing them. And he said, I won't stop wearing them. I said, well, hey, you know, if that's what it takes, then wear them. I'd wear them to bed. I'd wear them all the time. They were my lucky boots.
5:25 to go in the game. First and 10, Cardinals. 27-24, New Orleans. Lomax, there's going to be a holding call. Marsh tries to give a forearm shiver and is hauled out of bounds, but we've got 3 flags in the offensive backfield. Blown back. Johnny Poe made the tackle. That is the 10th penalty against the Cardinals today, against only 4 for New Orleans. 10 for 79 yards, and we've had a rash of holding calls. Find out who got this one.
Holding, 67, 10 yards, still first down.
Louis Sharp.
We're going to watch it again as Neil drops back. He just got beat right off the bat, folks, by number 94, Jim Wilkes, and he just held it.
3-man front, no blitz. Well, there's 1 man coming.
Good job.
Right up the middle.
Beautiful job by Lomax that time of reading the double coverage. He went right side, left side, knew he was going down the middle the whole time. Russell Gary, number 20, came over and made the stop. Good job by Neil. You're going to see it again, Vern. This is that double zone we hear so much about. Linebackers running with the tight end. Neil steps up, looks left, turns and fires immediately. Good job. Good job by number 89, LaFleur.
That's a gain of 23 yards and a fresh set of downs with 4:40 to go in the game.
And I'll give you a piece of advice here. You will not see cover 2 again. That is it.
First down 10. Draw play. Stump Mitchell. First down. That's a gain of 13 yards.
Boy, he's running over old Bostic, number 71, and Tootie Robbins, number 63. All these guys just really blew their people off the ball. Good job of blocking. Good job of running. First down.
And again, we see the theater of emotion rise and fall as the crowd was so raucous. And now they've quieted down.
Next time I get to St. Louis, I'm going to Bostic's Loft. You know, he has a restaurant up there
That's
called
right.
Bostic's Loft. I don't know if we can say that, but I just said it.
3:55 to go in the ball game. 27-24. Saints trying to even the record at 2-2. Cardinals trying to go 3-1. Into the flat. Willard Harrell one-on-one with Dirk Winston. No gain. Former Bradshaw teammate at Pittsburgh. Good tackle. .330 to go in the ball game, and after our game, either the Green Bay-Dallas encounter, or I don't think Bum cares about that one right now.
No, Bum's not worried about that. It's 3:19 left. This football team is dangerous, these Cardinals.
Franco Harris, Walter Payton on the same field in Seattle. Some of you will see that game. Second down and 10. 3:08 to go in the ball game. Lomax. Ricky Jackson. New Orleans football. It was James Gathers, number 97, who applied the initial pressure.
We're going to watch it again. He's trying to get the ball over on his combination side where he has two wide receivers. Comes in, Gathers has his hand on him. That's fumble. I thought for a moment maybe he had him in possession and he should have been down, but no, he was not.
Only the second fumble lost this season by the Cardinals, both in this game. And New Orleans takes over at the 38-yard line. Now there's a convocation of officials going on the near side, and timeout has been momentarily stalled. In the first half, as St. Louis was going in for what could have been either a tie game or the go-ahead touchdown, they trailed 10-7 at the time. They fumbled at the 13-yard line as Lomax and Bostic got together on the snap.
The clock is correct. 2 minutes, 33 seconds.
That was the conversation. Both teams have all three timeouts left. Last week in Indianapolis, 3:48 to go. That man's team trailed by 9, and they won. Now they trail by 3 with 2.5, but they don't have the ball anymore. Rodgers.
Saints are saying now they're out in their ace formation, two tight ends. They got a wing back up on one side, and what they're going to do now is just take it right to the Cardinals. They're going to just run this football, and they're just going to try to eat that clock up, get slow, penetrating first downs, and try to get down there. Got a timeout called by St. Louis. Try to get down there and get another touchdown, get a first down, get a field goal, get something. They're going to eat that clock up.
Is this a time when you try and tackle the ball on defense?
Well, I think the Cardinals have, with the stunning defense they have, is the kind of a defense that does cause a lot of turnovers just for the design of that aggressive defense. Yes, you're looking at 2:13 now. I would expect them to come in there and start tackling the football, try to knock the football out, strip the football. Any way to get that football back right now is the thing that they're trying to do. That's what they are talking to themselves. Hey, look, we got to hold these guys. We got to get that football back for our offense. If we can do that, then they'll take it down there and they'll score. We know they can do that because they did it last week up in Indianapolis, and they can do it again. So this is what's going on the field right now. Then Conversely, the other side, Saints are saying, hold on to the football. Don't fumble. This is a time in football that I really got a little nervous because you hated to tell a halfback, look, don't fumble. You know, then he says, oh, gee, I didn't think about that. Now he starts thinking about it. You know, a lot of times they fumble.
Interesting, your conversation with Bum. You asked him if he was worried about this team. What did he say?
He said, well, I don't worry about tomorrow, and I don't worry about yesterday. He said, this thing will take care of itself today.
2:13 to go. Second down, 8. Rodgers for 2. And that should be the final play before the 2-minute warning. And that'll stop the clock. Nope. St. Louis is going to use the second of their timeouts, I guess.
You know what's kind of interesting here is timeout again by the Cardinals. Interesting thing here is the fact that they're really bringing their safeties up tight to get into the backfield of the Saints. You know, I'd have to, if I was playing, I'd have to go, hey, look, they're bringing those safeties up awful tight. We might ought to fake one of these little babies and get that close flanker, the guy that's off the tight end. Maybe we ought to slip him down through the middle there and see if we can't get 6. It would surprise him, I believe.
Al Bubba Baker.
I asked him who was the court jester on the Cardinals the other day, and they said, this guy, look at him laughing. This guy right here. He said he is always smiling, always happy.
You played with him in the Pro Bowl, didn't you?
We went out to Los Angeles to play in the game, and our bags were stuck up there, and everybody was waiting. And I noticed this big guy was up on that turnstile that goes around, and he was slinging bags off and just kept traveling with it and slinging. I was like, who is? Look at that big fella. They said, well, that's Bubba Baker from, well, he was the Detroit Lions at the time. He was Rookie of the Year. He was up there slinging bags off, unclogging things for us. Quite a guy. There's another good guy right there.
Third down, 7 with 2:05 to go. Hannafin trying to get his team off to a 3-1 start with that murderous schedule coming up. And Bum would be more than content with a 2-2 record. After coming from behind, they were down 17-0 in San Francisco last week. Got the lead 20-17. And then the 49ers came back to win it 30-20. Flags are down. Illegal procedure against the New Orleans Saints. Interesting call by Bum Phillips in calling that second time out with 2:05, or saying Jim Hannafin.
67, 5 yards.
That's Dan Brock.
Still third down.
Now then, it was an interesting call by Hannafin to go ahead and use that second time out at 2:05.
Well, what he was thinking, he could have gone either way. He could have waited, but the Saints would have just let the clock run down, then they would have eaten 30 more seconds off, and we're looking at a minute and a half. What he did then was, if he feels like he can get this football back, he'll have 2 minutes left. We're going to go 2-minute warning here after this play. He'll have the football left. He'll have the ball left with 1:50 left for his offense. Plenty of time to move down that field. We'll have to see whether or not his decision was right. It's hard to say right now.
Third down and 12, and the Cardinals have 1 left, but they will get the clock stopped at the 2-minute warning. Lee Nelson and Bob Harris have come in defensively for St. Louis now. Third and 12. Todd, man wide open. Goodlow ran out of bounds, but he did get the first down. Eugene Goodlow.
You got Goodlow at the bottom of your screen. Once again, it's just man-to-man with everybody off their receivers, and Heflin out here, number 46, has Goodlow man for man, but he's way off the football, respecting his speed. When you do that, and you got good time to throw the football, it's like picking, nothing to it.
Timeout at the 2-minute warning. Jim Hannafin concerned his team is going to fall to 2-2. Bum Phillips hoping his team will elevate their record to 2-2. The Saints jumped out to a quick 10-0 lead. Saw it shaved to 13-7 at the half. Cardinals went on top by 1, 14-13. Then New Orleans back on top. Then St. Louis back on top. And finally, with 6 minutes to go, the Saints went in front, and they've held the lead since then. George Rogers. Been a quiet factor today. That is his 17th carry, but he's picked only 59 yards up. And the Cardinals use their final timeout to stop the clock with 1:55 to go. Interesting and not surprising, Terry Bradshaw, that Richard Todd went right at Vic Heflin on that third down play.
Well, it's not a reflection on his athletic ability. Number 46, the fact, you know, that the other two guys went down, but the guy bring him in, and he's cold. And hey, these guys are up here. They got scouts up here. Their coaches are watching this, and if they're going to attack someone, they're not going to attack Wayne Smith, number 44, on the other corner. They're going to attack a young guy who hasn't played that much, who hasn't seen that much action this year, and you're going to put your best receiver, Eugene Goodlow, over there, and you're going to play pitch and catch. The secret here really has been in the offensive line for the Saints and their ability to keep the stunts out of Richard's face for the most part of the day. You give a quarterback that much time to sit back there. I don't care who you are in the secondary. You cannot cover these people man for man.
At the conclusion of our game, most of you will see Green Bay versus Dallas or Chicago against Seattle. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. We've got 1:55 left here. Packers and Dallas, or the Bears and the Seahawks. Welcome to the NFL, Terry. The broadcast end of it.
Thank you, Vern.
1:55 to go. Rodgers again. I don't think we're going to see anything but that now, as the Cardinals cannot stop the clock. St. Louis at home against Miami next week. New Orleans is on the road at Houston, and Terry and I will be there with them. Jim Hannafin. Boy, he's got high hopes for this team, though. Really speaks fondly of all of them.
He's just he's a positive attitude type of individual, and his players respond well to him. They like one another. You know, he feels good about the football team he has, both offensively and defensively. Knows he's got a tough schedule coming up, but thinks his players will rise to the occasion. Remains to be seen.
Everybody in close now. Wilson, the short man. Rodgers, the knee back. That's John Tice. Wayne Wilson. He's had a big day. That's his 7th carry. And he has caught 2 touchdown passes. The go-ahead one from Richard Todd at the 6-minute mark. Richard Todd will wind up the day with 14 of 29 for 264 yards. And I would imagine, what did Kenny Stabler say? This was a good week for him to go out and drink and carouse and say hi to folks.
Well,
but Todd, no.
This quarterback situation is one where, you know, you're up and down week in and week out, and the first thing the folks get on to is the quarterback. Here comes guys, John, everybody going crazy. But the thing Kenny was saying is, as long as you're winning, boy, you can step out in public and not have to worry about people knocking at you. And when you don't play so well, you stay home, take care of the dogs. And Richard's been taking care of the dogs here lately.
4th and 1. 40 seconds to go. If they don't make it, the clock will stop on the change of possession.
I don't know.
I don't either. So they will stop the clock for the measurement.
St. Louis is saying they've got the football. They say they stop him. E.J. Jr. standing there, 54.
See where the spot comes.
Richards coming off. I don't know. This is interesting. Now you got to go back and look. Hey, Bum, should you kick the field goal, attempt to kick the field goal? Maybe he's thinking, well, we get a blocked field goal, they pick up and they run it in, they beat us. Let's do this and make them go the length of the field in 28 seconds. They stopped him. Cardinals ball.
And if it says we've got time, no timeouts left, 28 seconds to go. And 89 yards away.
Well, I guarantee you one thing. If there's one team that can go 89 yards in 28 seconds, this Cardinal football team can do it. They got the quarterback, they got the receivers, and they've done it before. And I think of all those ingredients, the thing that's so important is the fact that they've done it before.
That's the main man, Roy Green. However, today, Green has caught only 1 pass for 14 yards. And New Orleans has called timeout. Do you try and get a couple of just short passes and kill the clock, or do you go for it all immediately?
Short passes. Vern, what you're really going to try to do here as a quarterback, realizing that you've got to get big chunks of yardage. Now, I'm not talking 30 and 40 yarders, but you want to hit the seams of the zones and have the ball there where the receivers can have the football and run up the field. Naturally, you'd like to get the ball out of bounds. Naturally, you'd like to throw the deep corners and the sidelines, but that's what the Saints are thinking. They said they're going to throw to the sidelines and the corners. They have no timeouts remaining. Let's keep their receivers in the middle of the football field, keep them in front of us. Let's let them get those middle passes where they can't run the clock out, where we can keep them in bounds and run the clock out. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I've seen the Cowboys throw sideline passes in the flats of their backs to go 70 yards. That was evident in the Tampa game. So who knows, but we're fixing to find out.
Lomax is 22 of 32 for 248 yards today. Four-man front. Reggie Lewis.
Okay, he's got another play on. It's 18 seconds. He's got another play on. He had them open on the sideline. Didn't have time.
Reggie Lewis.
Where'd this guy come from? Neil's saying the same. Who's Reggie Lewis? Number 98. Where'd he come from?
That is the 5th quarterback sack of Lomax today. They had given up only 3 in the first 3 games. Stump Mitchell, final play of the game. Saints are 2-2. Touchdown, Frank Wadlett. Kansas picked up the fumble and ran it in on the final play of the game, and the touchdown does count.
You're going to see Stump come out of the backfield, just a simple little pass. The game's over with for all matter and purposes, and he picks it up and gets escorted in. David Waymer, number 44, leads him in. Frank Wadlett, 49. Here it is again, folks. 44, Waymer gets up in front of Wadlett, gives him a little escort into the end zone.
And they've got to kick the extra point. Cardinals have all headed for the locker room. The special teams are on the field. Morton Anderson is ready. And the Cardinals are going to have to find 11 bodies to get out there and line up on the extra point.
You can bet one thing, the kicker wants to kick this.
That's right. Frank Wadlett had run over to the sideline with the ball that he returned, so they had to get a new ball out there. And now we're ready. Anderson's kick. Flags are down. There's Frank Wadlett. Flags are down, but the point will stand. Our final score, the New Orleans Saints 34, the St. Louis Cardinals 24. Coming up next, either the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys or the Chicago Bears Seattle Seahawks game. For Terry Bradshaw, I'm Fern Lundquist. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station.